Hey, what's good, folks? You know who it is. It's Jay Zar, aka Mr. Go Get It. And you here with Podcasting with Jay. And I have a special episode. I got a homie, I got a friend, I got a contributor to the industry, I got a motivator, everything under the sun. Let's introduce the world to the homie Challz.
Yeah. What up, Joe?
Yeah, man.
Jay,
yeah,
what's good?
man. Yeah, man. It's been a long time, man. Been a long time, man.
Yes, sir.
How
you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. Starting the podcast journey.
Good luck to you, brother. I see you.
Yeah, this is my first big interview, so I'm trying to get everything situated. So
let's
I had to bring the big guns.
Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah. Let's start with a couple of questions. First of all, let's talk about growing up in DC and how that shaped you as an artist in the past and how it shaped you right now as an artist.
Growing up in DC, bro, you know how that is. It was real. It was serious because we was like in the middle of the belly and we didn't even know, bro. Like we didn't have much, but we didn't know we ain't had nothing. So we just rolled with it, right? Yeah. We just made the best out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? And we did what we had to do. Penny candy and, you know what I'm saying? Syrup sandwiches, mayonnaise sandwiches. You went outside, you had to hold your head up. If somebody had a problem, you had to deal with it. It was a whole lot going on. And we saw a lot in the back in them 80s and 70s and 90s. It was tough, bro. A lot of dudes was like, some dudes ain't here. Rest in peace. Quite a few brothers ain't make it. So you know how it was. It's crazy.
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt, man.
And that went into the music that we made.
Yeah, definitely, you know man. Definitely. Because a lot of times, what people don't understand, man, when you grow up in certain areas, it shapes you not only as a man, as a woman, but as an artist as well. It shapes you in what you think about everything in life. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that really resonated with me growing up. You know what I'm saying? Going through those trials, going through those tribulations, and making that music. You know what I'm saying? That's the dope thing. Let's talk about the group, man. Let's talk about how the Mud Kids was formed, how everything came to be as far as the start, and how all the members came to Pastor.
So you want to tell people about the Mud Kids? You got to tell them you a part of the Mud Kids.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get to that. Later. I'm gonna definitely get to that, man.
Jules is I think the ninth honorary member.
Yeah,
of the Mud
man.
Kids, MUDKIDS. So Mud Kids, back in the day, me and Tony, Super Fresh, right? We used to dig for records. We was a group ourselves. Before any of that, I was a solo artist. Then I joined with a guy named Tony Green.
Yeah.
We was all hip hop heads around the way, but me and him clicked the most, right? We had that UMC's flavor. We had that EPMD. We was like Daz and Corrupt, for lack of a better word. You know what I'm saying? Like we was Common. We was Fife and Tip.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally we joined together and made a group because Tony really was making the beats at first. He was a producer. Mm-hmm. We both was making beats, but I was a rapper and producer. Tony was mostly a producer. Then he started rapping. So then we made a group called Twisted Mystics. And while we were searching for beats and records and things like that, we came across this one record. And I always struggled with the name of the guy that made the record. I just listened to it again last week. And I can't remember the guy named Mark something, but it's a record. And it's called Mud Kids. We was digging through all these. We used to go to this record store that used to sell vinyl out in Maryland.
Yeah.
And you could pick through everything, take it up to the front, pay for it. Boom. So we was doing crate digging. And we stumbled on a record called The Mud Kids. And we really liked how it sounded. We liked different and weird stuff. It had the crackles in it, like the static and all that. And it was mad interesting. It's like The Mud Kids, right? So we made a whole song and we had this team like of just spitters. And we didn't take everybody, but we took about on this one record. We wasn't even Mud Kids yet. We just made a record. And I think we had about 7 MCs on there.
Mm-hmm.
And the record was so ill. It was so like-minded. Like everybody was so dope on the record. We was like, yo, we need to make this into a team. Right? So we formed the Mud Kids based off that title, that record. And we started calling it Men Under Divine Cause in Desperate Situations.
Ooh.
And for about 2 years, we was working on that record. And we took a vote and everything. Like, should everybody continue their solo careers, or should everybody jump in on this Mud Kids thing? Because we had already had a few years in the game. We wasn't new to it. So everybody had solo things going on, but we decided to compile this. I think it was 7 of us at the time. And we made a group and we called it the Mud Kids. And that was the rest, you know. We made an album. We was like the DC Wu-Tang. We was going everywhere. We was at every show.
When I first got introduced to the group, you know, salute to my brother Dang Dang. He introduced me to the group. That was the first thing I said. I said, "Damn, these dudes sound like Wu-Tang Clan, man."
The DC Wu-Tang for real.
DC Wu-Tang Clan, man. And that's the one thing that it really intrigued me about the group. It was so many different intricate parts in the group. And at that time, I was just starting to really learn how to rap. I remember the first time I met y'all, I was at Mac's studio. I didn't know how to lay a verse. I didn't know how to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all basically took me under y'all wing and made me who I am today as an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Straight off of what block was y'all
on? I grew up, me and Dang Dang, we grew about a block apart.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up on 60th Street. He grew up on 59th Street. So that's why I've known Dang Dang for years, because he used to go to school with my cousin. He used to go to school with my cousin Tony. So that's why I met Dang Dang. And me and his little brother Fred, you know what I'm saying? We was real tight. So that's how I met Dang Dang. And you know, Dang Dang knew I love rap. And that's the first thing he said, you know what I'm saying? You love rap. I hear you freestyling, and let me introduce you to this group. And I was like, yo, it is what it is. I'm a hip-hop head, just like everybody else.
There it is. Say less.
Yeah.
That's how we became. We was all under Prosperous Music. Everybody was doing their own thing. You was doing your own thing. Dang Dang. We all was doing our own thing, but we became a collective.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was going everywhere, 15, 20 deep.
Yeah, I remember that, man. Going hit these little open mics, hitting these shows, man, trying to get out there, man.
Yep, Caffer House and all these different spots.
Oh, yeah, man. I missed the Caffer House, man.
Playing with the live band.
Yeah. I remember all that,
Only
man.
spitters could get up there, though, boy.
Yeah, true. If you couldn't spit a 16, bro, you were sinking in the water, man. You was sunk. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. Being an independent artist, especially in this area, was tough. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 90s. What are some of the hurdles that you had to overcome being that type of artist and being an independent artist and trying to get your records and trying to get more exposure, not only to the group, but to you as a solo artist in particular?
All right. How much time you got?
man, we got as much time as you need, bro.
So listen, bro. So back when we was trying to make Mud Kids off the ground, right? Yeah. I'm gonna tell you a crazy story about being an independent artist. I made as an independent artist, you're gonna make decisions that may be good or bad for you in your career. And we made quite a few decisions that, in hindsight, had we took the other road, it would be a whole different chapter for us. That's why I'm about to do a documentary about Mud Kids and what we did to become what we was. But I wasn't just a Mud Kid. I had my own stuff, my own music. And long story short, quite a few things that could have went my way. Like I had a manager, right? Yeah. And I'm trying to remember his name, but I'll remember it in a little bit. But he was managing me for free. He was taking his time and doing a lot of things for me. But he had quit his job. So he was like, look, bro, I really believe in you. I know we could get somewhere. You're an independent artist. You're doing your own thing as best you can. But if you just give me a little something, pay me a little something, like $50 a week, something just so I can justify to do all this running around for you. Because he was really, his name was Felix. He was friends with my girls. A girl I used to mess with, he was her cousin. And he was really interested in my music.
Yeah.
My choice was I can't afford the $50 a week. So I turned down the offer for him to manage me. He was like, bro, I understand. I respect that. I even went to the crew. We had a meeting. That was 15. It was like 10, 15 of us. And everybody's like, nah, I ain't trying to pay that. Would you know this dude, he stopped rocking with me. Then he went and got another group, a whole record deal up in New York. And the name of the group is called Asylum. I don't know if you.
Oh yeah.
They got a song called "Hey, Look Away Now."
Oh
look
yeah,
away. Some back in the day type of joint.
Yeah.
They got a record deal, video, Rap City, all that.
Damn.
But had I chose to go ahead and sometimes you make decisions, you know what I'm saying? And when you think about them, you're like, dang, so sometimes being an independent artist is difficult, but you got to put your own money up sometimes.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't invest in yourself, then nobody else going to invest in you. And that's the biggest thing, the biggest pitfall of an independent artist that I can tell independent artists, you got to invest in yourself. Like when I watch you, Jules, you invest in yourself. You're going to pay for your video. You're going to pay for your studio. You're going to pay for whatever you need to do to advance your career and get your name out there. If you got to get a feature, you're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? If you got to do this and that, you got to do a show. If it costs money in the long run, there's a lot of famous rappers now that paid to get where they at. And now they making millions because they took the time to pay that fee of what it would cost. So what I would tell independent artists, my biggest stumble was not putting my money where I needed to put it, right?
Yeah.
If you're an independent artist, that costs money.
Yeah.
So that, not only that, a couple other stumbles where we, as independent artists, you work hard for something. Like we worked hard to press up. Shout out to Dang Dang. We just talked about Dang Dang. When our money got low as a group, Dang Dang stepped in and started executive producing, right?
Yeah.
He paid for our CDs and tapes and all that. All we had to do is hustle them. So we started going down to Howard Homecoming, going everywhere we could go, going to when Record Stores was out, it was what was that record store? The big one. Tower
I know Kent Mills was down there.
Kent Mills.
Yeah.
Wax or whatever. Wax. I don't know what it's called. But we would go to these stores, try to get the records in the store. Like we did what we had to do on our end. But some of the things was just it's too much for an independent label to manage. Yeah. If you don't stick with it. So two things I'm gonna say: your money you gotta spend your money in it, and you gotta be consistent.
Yeah.
Right. We got our records in some stores, a couple big stores, but we didn't stay on it.
Yeah.
We didn't stay on it. We would go down in front of the store and talk to people trying to get them to buy, and we would get discouraged. And somebody would buy it, some wouldn't. Yeah. You can't get discouraged with this. So had we stayed on it, boom, 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 boom. Like, for instance, we I think it was WPGC used to do Kiss It or Diss It.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we won the Kiss It or Diss It. Our song Sundown beat the Beat Nuts.
Yeah.
We beat the Beat Nuts record. We won. And the DJ was supposed to play or what have you. Some people say they heard, some people say it didn't. But we should have capitalized off winning that. That should have been our focus of like, we just won the radio. People called in that we didn't even know. Was like, yo, that song better than that Beat Nuts song. And that Beat Nuts song became a classic.
Definitely.
They were saying our song was better than that song. Yeah. Right? It's a DC flavor. So they was listening for a DC flavor.
Yeah. I think that's one of the main issues that, you know, especially in the DMV, it's like, you know, we didn't, you know, we didn't really have like a sound back then. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really a DC sound. You know, you had a lot of artists.
Had Go-Go.
Yeah, Go-Go. Now I always tell people
and,
it was straight Go-Go, and then you had like groups like, you know, like you say, Asylum, Nonchalant, all those people starting to come up, but it was
came
still,
out too.
Yeah, it was the DMV rap scene was still in its infant stage.
Wale was in that scene.
Yeah, but I mean, this was back in the 90s, late 90s.
Yeah, man. He was in a group. I think they was called the Commission or something. He was in some group back when we used to run around. We met him back then. Like we knew him back then. I didn't know him like that, but they knew him like that. So it was people there in that movement. I think Rodney Jerkins was around, a couple other big names. What's A. Marie's producer? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's from around here. So it's like we had talent down here.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I think the one thing about DC, especially in this area, it's such a small area. So it seems that, you know, we get overlooked sometimes.
Facts.
From the bigger markets like New York, Philly, you know, Atlanta. You know, it's like being a small market sometimes really is a detriment to the area. So
you know what it is though? They respect our market because it's a really, really seriously black market. that buys a lot of rap and influences a lot of rap. Like Tim's came from DC.
Oh yeah.
So everybody thinks Tim's is a New York thing. New Yorkers came down to DC and started rocking Tim's because we was doing it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That was like the late 70s or like the early 80s or something like that.
Yeah, that was our thing. Black Nike boots, all that, a lot of stuff that people accepted in the culture was started in DC. So it's not that we're a small market. It's that our sound, when you come to DC, is so go-go.
Yeah.
Right? There's almost every rapper that came here had to go on before the go-go bands.
Yeah.
Right? Jay-Z didn't know. He had to go on before the go-go bands.
Yeah.
He said something slick and they ran him. Right? They was like, no, bull, like, you know what I'm saying? And he had to come back a year later and apologize. Right? Because you can't disrespect DC go-go, but DC go-go has such a hold on the city.
Yeah.
A lot of the rappers was rapping like go-go rappers.
Yeah.
Right? So it was like, our sound is so go-go, it's hard to break out of that. So the New York execs don't believe that we got anything other than some go-go.
Yeah.
So that's the problem with why DC rap never took off.
Yeah, and that's facts, man. So I know you moved to Rhode Island. So let's talk about the DMV rap scene and the Rhode Island rap scene. What's the difference between the two places as far as hip hop is concerned?
Nothing.
No,
so what I'm saying is the difference is, like I said, with that go-go sound, that's very distinct. Yeah. It's a lot of percussions and this and that. The sound up here, I'm gonna tell you, be honest with you, both cities, right? And I've been in a lot of cities. Both cities' identity is wrapped up in what everybody else is already doing.
Trending.
Music. Whatever's trending, they start to feed to that. And that's where the cities get overtaken. Atlanta was a dead place before they started to break out with TLC and a couple other people with their own sound.
Definitely.
And it became the #1 go-to city, but it wasn't that before. Nobody even heard of Atlanta for years. Yeah. DC's the same way, but DC follows and Rhode Island follows. There's a lot of crab in the barrel mentality and a lot of they can't unify. The South unified. That's why Atlanta and Louisiana, all the different places blew up and went where they wanted to go because they unified. And both of these markets, Rhode Island and DC, they both are small. You're right about the size. They got a small man mentality. I believe Rhode Island is almost. I think Rhode Island is bigger than DC, and Rhode Island is the smallest state in the country. Yeah, the smallest state with the smallest black population or like hip hop population. If you want to, if that's a thing. But DC is the same way. They feel like they gotta follow the trends instead of sticking to who they are. Yeah, right? I think if it's not go-go, then they trying to be whatever's out at the time, and that's not how that works. So I think both markets gotta establish their own sound and find some 2 or 3 artists in the markets that they want to get behind, and then everybody can latch onto that person and blow up. Like Detroit wasn't where it's at right now, and Chicago wasn't where, you know what I'm saying? So it all took time. Yeah, they had to figure out who's going to lead this movement. Yeah, like you said about Chicago, Chicago, they had early artists like, Twista, guys like that, Common, then Kanye, and then they did a whole 180 with the whole drill sound, you know what I'm saying? So Chicago evolved over time, and like you said, Detroit had a few artists here and there, but it didn't really blow up until Eminem came. You know what I'm saying? Eminem kind of like, oh man, we got this, white dude from Detroit, and then everybody started coming to Detroit. And I think DC, I think Wale could have been that, but I think, like you said, that crab in the barrel mentality. Wale has made it. So we can't even. Wale is already a bona fide superstar. So he has surpassed it, but I don't know if he pulled up people after him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like he didn't really. I don't think he had. You know what I'm saying? You know how that crab in the barrel mentality. People didn't want to follow him because he not DC. He from Maryland. So it's like we can't follow him. But at the end of the day, this is the dude that got the major deal. You know what I'm saying? This dude is nationally known, worldwide known. I mean, and like you said, that crabs in the barrel mentality kind of hurts DC, and it hurts a lot of other major cities as well.
I remember
Facts.
you throwing a bunch of shows with a lot of mainstream artists.
Yes.
Tell the people the process with setting those shows up and being a promoter, because some people think being a promoter is an easy thing. You know, okay, I get the artist, do this and do that. Go through the process of getting the show set up and how all that kind of, you know, how that goes.
So, be honest with you, most people do think it's easy, but most people ain't built for being a promoter. So I'm an artist that also is an entrepreneur. So I promote, I produce, I shoot videos for people. I wear a lot of different hats. And my biggest, most profitable hat was promoting. But you can take losses on that.
Yeah.
And you can take big losses on that. So just for instance, I'll give a couple names that I've done shows with. Memphis Bleak, Joel Santana, Sheik Luch, Beanie Siegel, Most Def, Slaughterhouse, Joe Button, let me see, Planet Asia, Voice to 5'9" by himself. I'm trying to think. Emilio Sparks. I'm sorry, Emilio Sparks, and just a bunch of different people that I can just off the top of my head. And the one thing I can say about all of them, it's a hit or miss game, right?
Yeah.
And one show may be great, right? Like I did Mobb Deep. That probably is one of my best shows I ever did, right? Mobb Deep, when I brought him to the city.
Yeah.
And we had packed house.
Yeah.
And then one night I did Raekwon, and we came up short on his money. You know what I'm saying? So I had to scramble and figure out how to get his money, right?
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of different things transpired, and Ray was gracious enough, even though all the money wasn't there, he was like, how many people you got in there? All right, I'll come in and rock out anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So you never know. That's the coolest rapper I ever met. Ray was the coolest dude I ever met in my life. But promoting is not always that simple, right? So I think you said give you the process. The process, the first thing you gotta do is find out how to book them. A lot of them can be booked right on their Twitter. It wasn't like that before, but now you go on their Twitter, it's gonna say booking, and it has an email address.
Yeah.
You email that address, somebody gonna respond. Because it's right on there. It should be the real person because it's on their Twitter.
Yeah.
You ask them, you know what I'm saying? You say, what's your price? They're gonna say, what's your date? Right? And then it's gonna go like that. Me personally, I don't even go through those managers like that because I know booking agents. So booking agent can get you anybody you want. The real thing you want to get is a booking agent. A booking agent gonna seek you out. Once you start doing shows with booking agent, he'll send you email every week of all the people he can get you. 10 people, 15 people. I get emails to this day, 10, 15 different people. Oh, book he's Lloyd Banks. Oh, book this run with what's my guy from the Locks?
Oh, you talking about Styles P?
Styles P. I in my email right now all these different artists I can get. Wifey's funeral, Wi-Fi's funeral, all these different people. I get all these offers because I'm not even looking no more. Now that the booking agents know you, they're gonna start looking for you.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna start emailing you directly. They're gonna be like, yo, you want this, you want that, da da da. They're gonna send you all this stuff. It is up to you to pick and choose. That ain't gonna make money. Some stuff not gonna make money. Some markets ain't gonna make money. Certain people you can't bring in. Right? My biggest failures was West Coast shows. When I brought a West Coast artist over to the East Coast, them the hardest shows to sell. Believe it or not.
It's hard to sell.
What's my guys? Camp Low. They not from the West, but they have moved over there. They was living, last I heard they was living in Cali. And I was going to bring them here. And as it got closer to the show, nobody bought tickets. I had to cancel it.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to bring Camp Low, but I would have took a bath on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to know when to fold it. That comes in time. Some guys will just eat it and they'll take a loss on it. You lose a couple $1,000s. It's not easy. So a lot of people complain about, it's all these openers, all this and that. A lot of people complain about these shows, but that opener is a way. Everybody don't have a bankroll to do these shows. I did it without a bankroll.
Yeah.
Right? I sat down, like, I was told, to be honest with you, this inside information. Capadonna's manager told me how to use the openers. It was the guy that was managing Capadonna back in the day. I'm not going to say his name, but he was like, bruh, get openers on your show. Learn how to use that.
Yeah.
To fund yourself. We don't have venture capital to put behind us. I don't have somebody giving me 50 grand. So you got to figure it out. And people that get mad at the openers, that's fine. End of the day, that's somebody who goals they're trying to reach. They're trying to get to the next level, right? And that promoter is using that as his bankroll to bring that artist to your city so you can have the hip hop event that you wanted, right? So it's a double-edged sword. But openers is how you can make your shows work. Even though I know people coming, there's too many openers, they complain or whatever. It's a gift and a curse, bro. But end of the day, you got to learn how to do it where you can still make the event happen, whether or not you have money in your own pocket, right?
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing people don't understand. Like being a promoter is like it's a whole lot of different things that go into it, and people think it's just okay. I can book this artist and pack, like you said, I can book this artist and this artist and pack a show, but it's a 50-50. You don't know if that artist can actually pack that show. And like you said, you took a few losses. Like you said, you took the loss on the Raekwon show. I would have definitely loved to go see Raekwon, but how many people today are gonna go see Raekwon? No disrespect, but you know, a lot of
I mean, he can get a crowd, but it depends on the location. Like you said, the market's small here. Yeah. In Rhode Island and DC, I would have had a better shot. But even DC, for pure hip hop, they gotta work hard to get them shows, you know, packed like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it was like you said, Philly, you know, like, you know, bigger cities, you'll definitely be able to pack those shows. But like DC, Rhode Island, those locations, man, it's hard, man. I mean, I remember opening up for I think me and my team, we opened up for Camron, you know what I'm saying? And the show, it was a nice crowd, you know what I'm saying, but it wasn't as packed as I thought it would be, you know what I'm saying? Probably because it was on a Wednesday night, and you know, a lot of people, you know, they don't go out on a Wednesday night. So, you know, I met Cam, you know what I'm saying? That was my thing. I met Cam and we chopped it up and talked and everything. So it worked out for me.
Let's talk about you saw that video on my channel where I did a show with Cam and he didn't show up.
Oh wow.
I got a whole video on CLBMG. On my CLBMG channel. I did a show, promoted with Cam, everything. And I was a partner on the show. And he was supposed to do the show. I explained the whole thing. If you can go to my page, I'll post it up. But he A-Rap Music, the beat maker.
Yeah.
You know who that is? He does the beats with Joe Budden and this and that. Yeah. And he got the beat machine. He does the beats. He did the beats at the show and everything. Yeah, he was telling us Camron was coming. He was like, Camron coming right after I do my set. Camron coming upstairs. And Camron never came upstairs. We had a riot. People started fighting because he didn't come. So that's a whole nother story. But yeah, just man. Off that, that's a different. You had to give money back.
Oh yeah, you know, because you know what I'm saying. People like, oh man, Cam ain't come, so I want my money back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do you think it's much easier for artists today to get on than when it was when we were going up?
If an artist's focus is much better now, but you're not gonna. What an artist need to understand is it's gonna be how much you push yourself.
Yeah.
It's very easy now. You can go on DistroKid, upload 15 songs or whatever it is, name it something, and now you got an album out. Yeah. And you can put it on DatPiff. You can put it everywhere you want. So we had to buy, I think the CDs I told you about with Calvin and all that, with Dang.
Yeah.
I think to just get them 100 copies, it was 100 I think it was 100 CDs, 100 vinyls, 100 tapes, and some posters.
Yeah.
That might have been $3,000.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. It was ridiculous back then. You had to have that little bit of stuff. It was like $3,000.
Oh yeah.
So it ain't the same. Now you can put all your music up for $80 a year.
Yeah.
Or whatever DistroKid is you're using, right?
Yeah.
Some of them joints is cheaper than that.
Yeah.
So it's drastically different. And you can get paid off that. Plus, you can still press up CDs cheaper. I think you can do CDs now for like $150, something like that. Yeah, $300 for color and all that.
Yeah,
you can sell that and make your money. See, what I didn't understand is you want to be a working musician. You don't necessarily got to blow big up. You don't got to blow up big. They'll come find you if you just move units consistently in your city. Yeah. If I was smart, I would have never stopped selling my CDs hand in hand. because you're going to make more money doing that than it is with the streaming.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, because you know, I look at my little profits from my streams. I'm like, man, I can't live off.
You can't live off it.
You can't live off this. Just
you can't live off
man.
it.
That's why a lot of artists now they have their own clothing line. They got you know their own little stuff products that they sell.
They doing other stuff. They podcasting.
They doing all that stuff, man. A lot of artists say, you know what, man, I ain't making that much money in the game. I'm gonna go ahead and find this other lane, man, and I'll go ahead and do that, man. Make more money. Let's talk about that.
If you invest in yourself, right? If you set a budget aside and put the money where it needs to go with the right promotion, put yourself on the right playlist, get the right video directors to make your videos dope, and you consistently all about the music, you can start to turn a profit and you can make money at these shows selling your merch. If you good with just a consistent economic flow coming in, you can be consistent and make money. It's like a DJ.
Yeah.
DJs make money. DJs don't gotta work, right? If a DJ have 2 or 3 gigs a week, they eating. So if you figure out a way, you don't gotta be a millionaire. You just make like what's my guy? Tech Nine.
Tech Nine, yeah.
Millionaire from rapping.
Yeah.
And probably half the people you ask on the street don't know who he is.
Yeah, but he has that fan base. You know what I'm saying? Facts. He has that fan base that will ride with him no matter what. And I think that's what a lot of artists don't realize. You don't need 1 million fans. I mean, you could eat off 100,000 fans. You could eat off 75,000 fans. If you got those loyal fans that'll stick with you and buy your music and buy your product, man, that'll get you. That's that long-term money.
Facts.
That's that long-term investment. But like you said, you gotta be consistent. Yeah.
They're not gonna wait on you for 6 years like Nas. You know what I'm saying?
You
gotta keep grinding.
Yeah, Nas is an anomaly, man. Like Kendrick Lamar, those are anomalies, man. You gotta put out at least 2 or 3 projects a year. Oh, damn. Lost him. Wow.
Hold on, Jules. Yeah. I got a call.
Oh, okay.
Hold on 1 second.
All right, bet. But yeah, we here, man. You know, my man, you know, he's busy, you know, doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I hope you're enjoying the interview so far. If you're enjoying the interview, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think.
I'm glad we ain't live.
Nah. This is being recorded, man.
I'm back.
Yeah. Let's talk about, matter of fact, you talked about your YouTube channel. Let's talk about the YouTube channel. You've been at it for a minute.
Yeah.
When did you decide to jump from to make the jump to hip-hop journalism? Because your page is more of a hip-hop journalistic type of YouTube page. And tell me, when did you start and how's the process been forming that YouTube page?
So what I started with was doing album reviews.
Okay.
I decided one day, I was like, you know what? I could do album reviews. I wasn't even doing like journalism stuff, but in my album reviews, they would run long because I was talking about so much hip hop.
Yeah.
Like all this hip hop, people be like, oh man, you know so much old school information. You always teaching us something about old school, this and that. Because I would do an album review about De La Soul or KRS-One or something. And then I would get all this old school information, and it would take 30 minutes to do the whole video. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm more comfortable talking about hip hop than the actual album that I'm reviewing.
Yeah.
So my other channel I started with just hip hop reviews. Then I stopped doing it. I took a long break, and I would take mad long to put another video up.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'd rather just talk about what's happening currently.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make my other channel. I'm gonna make that about current events and things that's going on now. So I moved away from the album reviews because I used to have to listen to the whole my album reviews. I listen to the whole album, then I write down everything about each song, and then I would tell you about each single song. So if it's an album that got 18 songs, I'm sitting there listening to 18 songs 3 times, and then I'm writing 3-4 times, and I'm writing down, it's a jazzy, blah, blah, blah. So that takes too much time. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that too much. So I started, let me talk about what's going on with Ice Spice. Or you know what I'm saying? Like what's going on with whoever, Royce the 5'9" or whatever, or Drake or whatever. that's quicker because that happens so fast. There's so much going on. So I started doing that, and at first it was slow. It wasn't doing nothing. So I fell off for about a year or two. And I was like, you know what? I'm bringing Talking Facts back, and I'm gonna stick with it. I didn't even have 100 followers. I was like, I didn't have no fans. So I was like, you know, I started watching more videos about how to build your channel. They were like, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. You got to consistently learn because YouTube changes. YouTube changes every couple months. They're changing something. So you got to watch videos say, oh, how to gain followers, how to do this, da, da, da. And I start paying attention. You know, they like, get the proper lighting, get the proper mics, get the proper camera. Everything pays for itself. Like I told you earlier, you got to invest in yourself. So I started buying a more expensive camera, more expensive mics, more expensive lights. And as that grew, my channel grew. And the more consistent I was, the more consistent my following became. So once you get a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of watch time, they start paying you, right?
Yeah.
So you get paid. So I get paid off my channel at this point. But the simple fact of the matter is, you don't get paid if you don't keep putting up videos.
Yeah.
So if you're not consistent, it doesn't matter. You can have a big video and then have nothing, and then your pay gonna go down, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, let me do this consistently. Let me make this a job where I gotta sit down every week and put in at least 5-10 videos a week, which is moderate, right? Some guys are on there all day, every day, like Hassan Campbell. You know what I'm saying? He doing sometimes 7-8 videos a day. So it's like, it's all about what you have time for, right? I'm also an independent business owner, so I don't always have a lot of time to always do videos. And the videos don't supplement your income. But what you need to do is understand that it could supplement your income. So if you put the work that you putting in your other job into the videos and you start realizing who your audience is, you're like, oh, my audience like to hear me talk about underground rappers. So then boom, you just keep doing that. Or my audience like to hear me talk about where to shop at or where to eat food at. If you know what your audience is, just cater to that, and they'll start watching more. They'll start coming to you for that. Oh, I wonder what he's going to say about this. I wonder what he's going to say about that. They start paying attention to your opinion. It's just your opinion most of the time. But if they trust you and understand that you're going to be real with them, then they're going to follow you. So the journey with me with this is I had to just stick to what I'm doing, because it's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff where they be attacking people, or they're like being real, like they doing a lot of toxic stuff, right? Just to stir up, just doing a lot of clickbait. I'm not doing it. I'm not having you come to my video for clickbait and stuff that's just, it's half real, it's half not, and then they can own me out. And what I learned earlier, I was like, if I make a video about anything, and I remember one time, I'll tell you this story. I made a video about Trick Daddy. When Trick Daddy had he had the skin, he has a skin disease. Yeah. You know about Trick Daddy got skin disease, right?
Yeah. Well, is it? It's not lupus, is it?
It might be something like that.
Yeah.
It's not lupus, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
Alopecia? No, it's not that.
We know. Yeah.
Right. He took his hat off and people started cracking on him. Then the internet was like, don't crack on him. He has a thing with his hair and his skin or whatever. So I put a video up saying that people was cracking on him. I didn't say that anything was bad about it. And then people start saying, yo, this ain't entertainment, da da da. And I said, you know what? They're right. It's not entertainment. And even though I didn't diss them, they still took it like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to make fun of this man's skin or whatever. I said, you know what? I'm going to delete this video. And when I do any video I put up going forward, I'm never deleting it again, because if I do a video, I'm only going to do stuff I'm going to stand on, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
If I'm not going to stand, if I see you in the streets, it's a problem. I've had the artists, I did a video on, what's my guy from Bad Boy Records that he's in jail now, he's trying to get out.
You talking about not Loon.
Not Loon, not Black
Rock.
It's not Black Rock. It's
hell.
Man, I'm gonna give it to you in a second. But he went and turned himself in for murder. And G-Dep.
G-Dep.
G-Dep. I did a video on G-Dep a couple months ago. His wife hit me up. She was like, yo, because I was saying I didn't think that it made any sense to turn himself in after he was almost 20 years removed from that robbery. He killed somebody almost 10, 15, 20 years before he turned himself in. And I said the jail system not going to, they're not going to give you the repentance you're looking for. You could have did your repentance. It was already, the family had moved on. It was almost 20 years later, bro. It was like 18 years, I think, something. So I was like, to turn yourself in at that point, you're only giving yourself to the judicial system, and they have no power to absolve you of your crime.
Yeah,
that's something you got to deal with you and God. You could have did more work empowering the people on the street than sitting in that jail for no reason. So that was my stance. But his wife saw that, and she was like, "Yo, people need to know that G-Dap story is not just about that. She has some issues with it." Yeah. And I was supposed to interview her, and we never really connected on the interview. But we talked about it, and she's like, "I just wanted you to know that I watched that, and I want some stuff that's not 100% in those stories about what he did, right? Because the media was saying some stuff was this and that. They really wasn't dissing him, but some of the facts was a little off, right? Yeah. So when you do these videos, people will watch them. The people that's really involved, he might have watched it. So I'm like, if I do a video going forward, I'm going to stand on what I didn't delete it because I didn't do nothing wrong in it. I said my opinion. So I'm going to stand on my opinion. Going forward, I'm not deleting nothing. And if it's a problem and we got to have an issue, then I'm going to have the issue. Because I'm not just going to be doing videos just to get clickbait. Then I'm like apologizing down the line. Like, so I don't do stuff where I don't stand on it. I don't believe in it. So as a podcaster or whatever you want to call it, if you don't believe in what you're doing, then don't be making videos. Because somebody going to see your video. I did the album review for the girl Rhapsody. Yeah, her album. And Ninth Wonder. The producer, he signed her under Jay-Z's Rock Nation. I did an album review for her. She commented, he commented, he took clips of it, put it on his Instagram. My interview of Rhapsody's album is on Ninth Wonder's page. Right?
Yeah, wow.
It's on there. He tagged me and everything.
You don't the thing. I think the one thing people don't understand, you don't know who's watching your video.
You don't know who's watching. So
you know what I'm saying? You may only have like 500
like this. Yeah. You need to stand on it and be truthful and not be trying to slander people, doing all that goofy stuff like academics used to do. I have no problem with him. But what he did was he made a lot of people upset by coming at them on the videos, and then he had to backtrack it and be like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, you can't, man. I think you, like you said, you have to stand on your principles. You know what I'm saying? And if you make a video, stand on your principles and just keep it rolling, man. You've collaborated with some major artists, man. Which artists that you haven't collaborated with that you would love to still collaborate with today?
Nas. I need a Nas. I need a Jay-Z verse. And you know what? I probably would. There's a couple underground cats I would love to go with. Yeah. It's some real spitters that I would love to rock with. I would love to do a joint. I would love to get on a joint with Royce. And it's quite a few people I would love to just do some music with. So, but it ain't a lot of dream verses other than a dream verse with Jay, Nas, and I would love to do a joint with Raekwon.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That would be
Ray and Ghost, man.
Ray and Ghost together. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know who I really rock with right now too? It's crazy is Freddie Gibbs. I rock with Freddie. I rock with Benny. Yeah. And I rock with Conway. So I would love to do something with them too.
Another dude, man, that I really rock with is Bodie.
You know what? I gotta get into Bodie. People keep telling me.
Yeah, man.
So I gotta get. I'm gonna listen to him and get into him.
That's my guy, man. Bodie James is my guy, man.
I'm gonna listen to him. I'm late on that.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what I'm saying. We almost finished with this interview. I got one last question for you. Who are your top 10 rappers in no particular order?
KRS-One, Rakim, Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, Ice Cube. Scarface, Big Daddy Kane, That might be 10 right there.
Yeah, that's about 10, man.
I think that's 10 right there.
Yeah, that's a 10. I'll give you 3 honorable mentions.
Oh, you want me to mention them?
Yeah, 3 honorable mentions.
Eminem, Common, and Kendrick. I messed up. Kendrick and Cole.
Oh, okay.
So somebody on that list got to come off, and Kendrick going there, and Cole.
Oh,
Cole is 11.
Oh yeah, man. That's Cole. See, I always have this kind of toss up, man, because I've always been a Cole fan. I like Kendrick, but Kendrick is one of those guys that I think because he doesn't really drop as much. It's like but when he does drop some dope music. But I'm a big Cole fan.
You're a Cole fan.
I'm a Cole fan, man.
What about JID?
JID, yeah, I listen to JID, but I'm gonna tell you a couple of guys that I really listen to, man. One guy is 38 Special.
Okay.
Yeah, 38 Special.
I listen to his whole joint.
Oh yeah, 38, and definitely a person that's been in, like I said, Boldy James, that whole Griselda movement. I met Benny. You know what I'm saying? I talked to Benny, man. He's a dope guy. And
Westside
Gun. One thing about Westside, man, he's I don't really consider him an artist. I consider him more of a one of those guys. He puts projects together.
All right.
And he puts like if you listen to a lot of his albums, he's not on all the songs.
Right.
He's not on all the songs. If he has a 10 album project, he may be on 8 or 7 or 8 songs, but then he has other songs where it's just the producer that he picks, and he has other artists on the song.
All
you know
right.
what I'm saying? That's how Westside Gun roll. And what about your top 5 hip hop groups?
Wu-Tang, De La, Tribe, NWA, Run DMC, EPMD.
Oh man, shoot.
That's 6.
That's 6, man. But I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Oh, Outkast. I'm on
Outkast, yeah, Outkast, man. You can't go wrong with that, man. But definitely, man, I enjoyed doing this interview, Challz, man.
Same here, brother.
Man, you really dropped a lot of knowledge on the podcast and with Jay podcast, man. Everybody, man, go hit let them know where they can find you at on social media, so we can follow you.
Challz Brown. That name right there at the bottom. You can find me on most social media sites, and my website is CLBMG.com. And everything you need to know.
All right, folks, you got it, man. Podcast with Jay, Challz, man. It was a nice talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Have
Same
a great
here.
day, man. See you later, man. Peace
Good luck,
out.
brother. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Peace out, man.
Peace out, Jay.